On this episode of China Uncensored, who knew selling out could feel so cheap? Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. The Chinese regime just held its annual World Internet Conference. This year's theme was Developing Digital Economy for Openness and Shared Benefits, building a community of common future in cyberspace. I'm sure it made a great float. And if you were lucky enough to make it past the tight security checkpoints with facial recognition technology, the Chinese armed police, and the ever-present glow of the red lights of closed-circuit cameras, plus whatever these guys were ready for, you would have experienced all the joys of openness China's internet has to offer. Mainly because the conference had special Wi-Fi that let attendees jump over the firewall and access the real internet. Yes, the country ranked worst in the world for internet freedom 3 years running knows a thing or two about openness. Why, just ask the keynote speaker, Tim Cook. Yes, the CEO of your beloved Apple said, "The theme of this conference, developing a digital economy for openness and shared benefits, is a vision we at Apple share." I wonder if maybe he wandered into the wrong conference, because a little later in the day, one of the most powerful men in China called for more aggressive government involvement online to combat terrorism and criminals. And yes, he wants China's internet regulations to extend beyond China's borders. Now I know you're shocked. Not that Tim Cook praised the world's most internet-censored nation. After all, Apple has spent the past few years desperately trying to grab a piece of the China market by bending over backwards for the Chinese regime, doing things like banning the New York Times app, removing VPNs, even briefly blocking the China Uncensored Apple TV app. No, you're probably shocked that there weren't more Western tech giants there doing some good old-fashioned bootlicking. Well, no need to worry, they were there. And not just Apple and Google. The vice president of Facebook was there as well. He said, "I'd compliment the Chinese government in terms of leadership on using data." I bet you would. As Reuters put it, the tacit endorsement of the event by top US tech executives comes as China introduces strict new rules on censorship and data storage. Does this all seem a little hypocritical? Well, it wasn't lost on Chinese netizens either. They came up with fun phrases to describe/mock the World Internet Conference, like World 404 Conference, World Satire Conference, and Beggars Conference. Wow, those are really good. Chinese netizens are on it. I wish I had come up with some of those. The CCP, of course, did not think netizens were so clever. They issued a censorship directive to stop internet users from talking about the Internet Conference. Intercept, find, and delete content attacking the World Internet Conference in Wuzhen on interactive platforms such as Weibo blogs, public WeChat accounts, forums, and bulletin boards. Now, the Chinese regime's goal is not to censor the internet in the rest of the world, at least not right away. What it wants is the rest of the world, including its tech leaders, buying into the China model, where governments have the right to police the internet within their countries however they see fit. Each country will rule its own mini-internet, and the idea of a free and open internet will be history. It's called internet sovereignty, and they'll use Chinese software and Chinese firewall methods to do it, because as everyone knows, the internet has been part of Chinese territory since ancient times. What do you think about China's plans and how the Western tech world is responding? Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. See you next time. So, since Google owns YouTube and Google is trying to make nice with China again, maybe you should head over to ChinaUncensored.tv. You know, just in case. Click here to go to ChinaUncensored.tv.